How's your vacation though? You've been away from podcasting for a few weeks, haven't you?
Well, no, I mean, last Saturday I joined the Spawncast really late, like with like 30 minutes to go because I had to work on a video for Sunday. And then Sunday I was gone all day and for some of the night. And then yesterday I wasn't going to do the Spawncast because I was going to go to my uncle's St. Patrick's Day party. But like my back, like you remember that back injury I had?
From the TV?
Yeah.
What?
So like every so often it'll flare up, and like from like Wednesday to Saturday it was off and on. And like Friday or Thursday night I took a muscle relaxer that I had. I ended up sleeping until like 1 on Friday, and I was like, well, you know, it sucks, but I do feel better. So I was like, okay, I should be good for Saturday. And then Friday I was fine. And then yesterday I was just like, oh, Jesus, fuck my life. And it just, I didn't want to do anything. So I took a muscle relaxer at like 9 o'clock and just passed the fuck out.
So for those who don't know the story, Sean pulled his back or something trying to get a massive TV to play his retro games into his house like 5 years ago.
No, this was before that. Before that, I injured it remember I moved all that stuff.
Of your roommates?
Yeah, and I like his dresser and shit. And then the fucking urgent care doctor said this is an STD, and I was like,
"What in your
Don't
back?"
you remember that? No, she said that because like what happened was the flare-ups didn't like when I moved all his stuff or whatever. I was fine for a couple days, and like 4 days later, I woke up and I could not walk, and I was like, "Holy shit, my back is like fucked." So I went to work. And then work was like, you're worthless. Go see the doctor. And so I tried to get in with my normal doctor at the time, who was like right across the street from where I worked, and it would have been perfect. And her nurse was like, no, she's filled up today. She can't see you. And I was like, well, I got to see someone today. So I drove down to urgent care. I go to urgent care. The lady at urgent care is like, it's not from moving that stuff because your back would have been hurting up until this point. And I was like, maybe, but I'm pretty sure it's from that. She was like, no, I think this is, are you sexually active? And I was like,
from a back pain to an STI.
She made me do all of these tests. They drew blood. Remember, they drew blood and I passed out because I hadn't eaten. So then like my coworker had to call her husband to come pick me up from the urgent care and drive me home.
This is so suspicious. Did she?
And then she gave me these muscle relaxers, and she was like, they're not going to help you. You know, we'll contact you in a day or two when your test results come back. I'm like, all right, whatever. Went home, took like 3 of the muscle relaxers, went into a coma, woke up. I was fine. The next day they called me back, and they were like, oh, all your test results were negative. And I was like, no fucking shit, because I pulled a muscle in my back.
So you're like,
they're like, you didn't have an STD, but we gave you one.
It's like, it was fucking ridiculous. But like ever since then, like just once in a while it'll flare up. So before I moved from North Carolina to Delaware, my primary care doctor, she just gave me like 60 of them and was like, well, if it acts up, you know, just take 1 or 2 and, you know, you'll be fine. So I still have like a stockpile of them. So just whenever this flares up, I got to deal with it for a couple days. So
is it your lower back?
Yeah, it's my lower back on the right-hand side.
I'm exactly the same. Like every once in a while, it'll like completely go out where I can't even like stand up all the way straight.
Yeah,
it's fucking miserable.
It like shoots down to my calf sometimes too, and it's just like it sucks so bad.
Welcome to 3 old men discovering the elements of aging. Every week we start this show, not about gaming, but it's if it isn't bowel movements or a back that you get from an STI. It's always some medical issue. That nurse is super suspicious. The fact that you go, oh, my back hurts. And she's like, I think we got to take her pants off. Like that.
Well, yeah. I saw my doctor like the next day because she stopped by the pharmacy and she walked in and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she just like looked at me. She was like, what? I was like, do you know what I had to endure? And she was like, no. So I told her the story and she was like, well, why didn't you just say it was you? I would have gotten you in. And I was like, because I don't know the fucking rules and regulations of your practice here. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't ever do that again. If if you ever got any problems, just come here. And I'm like,
but also let me see your balls too.
Please cough.
Well, she was hot. For a doctor, she was hot. She could check whatever she wants, but this fucking lady, no.
You probably made her day very special.
fuck that. But that's the same place that I went to when I had the big cyst that was like the size of a softball.
What?
Remember that?
Jeez.
No, you had a cyst?
Dude.
Where was
yeah.
this?
Lower back. And so it was like right above my butt crack, like where the butt crack starts
Okay,
was
I don't
the
want to imagine
cyst.
this.
Actually, I vaguely remember this.
I don't.
And it ended up becoming like the size of a softball. And so like I went to that urgent care place, and it was a different doctor, and he was like, all right, well, we'll just see you here. And he's like, all right, lay on this table. I'm like, okay. He was like, you know, I was actually a doctor in the military, so we had to deal with these all the time. I'm like, oh, great. And so like he's like, all right, so we're gonna cut it. And I'm like, cool. So he cuts it, and I feel like all this liquid, and I'm like, oh, are you rinsing it out? And he was like, no, that's pus and blood. And then the whole room just stunk, and I was like, yeah, like I had a hole in my back, and like I had to pack it with gauze and stuff, so I made my coworkers do it.
All right, that's enough of that. For those joining us for the first time, this is a gaming podcast. I swear to you, the next hour will be only gaming, just gaming, talking about gaming.
Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh, that's so disgusting. I'm kind of feeling it come up a little.